My name is Michelle Thibault. I'm a former teacher. I'm also Brilliant Labs natural maker specialist. Um, my role is basically to support any initiatives from teachers, educators, students all around the Atlantic provinces and elsewhere.
First of all, I would like to mention that these recordings were made in unceded Wolastoqiyik territories. The first peoples occupied these lands before my ancestors and are still the protectors of these lands today. We are privileged to be able to benefit from all these resources, and it is our duty to teach our students about the history of these lands and our responsibility to protect and enhance. Every outing in nature is an opportunity to share our gratitude. On whose territory is your school located? I invite you to do the research and share it with your students and your school community. To grow together, we need to know where we come from and where we are. I first became interested in nature-based pedagogy, more precisely in land-conscious pedagogies, because there are many terms to define the use of outdoor spaces in education. While listening to the documentary Found in the Forest that explains the unique pedagogical approach of the Maple Ridge Environmental School in British Columbia. Since 2012, the only public school from the kindergarten to grade 9 entirely outdoors. Because we all know the benefits of time spent in nature for both students and adults.
What if your ideal classroom was free and accessible?
What if every teacher, educator had the background to experience nature-based education with their students? Before I begin this training module, I want to share with you this short montage of a week in the life of the students of Maple Ridge Public Environmental School. I hope these images inspire you as this visit did to me.
cool. You did so good job. You do it. I can do this with you, Michelle. Okay. How about
Why teaching in nature?
The first question to ask ourselves is definitely, why is it important to you to teach outdoors or to teach in nature? What skills, values, concept do we hope to pass to our students? There is no right or wrong answers, but this question will guide our decisions as outdoor educators.
For me, emotional connection is the essential foundation that guides the intrinsic motivation of every eco-citizen. The time spent exploring diverse natural spaces, learning about their history, respecting and valuing them, developing accurate vocabulary, these moments begin as soon as we step outside. We don't need to be experts. There are a multitude of applications and manuals to identify species. Let's allow ourselves to move at the same pace as our students.
So my personal two main ambitions are first, my own mental health and physical and emotional health, and the one of my students.
A 13-month study in Sweden shows that children attending nature schools are more balanced, less ill, and have better social skills, concentration, coordination, and adaptation. Stress levels drop instantly when you're outside. Imagine the benefits of spending an entire day there. Secondly, developing a meaningful connection to the natural world that allows for a shift, as Dor would call, from I know to I care. Helping children recognize themselves as an important part of a larger whole encourages them to develop an ethic of care for themselves, others, and the living world. Jacques Cousteau said, "We protect what we love and we love what we know." When you don't know that dandelions are not weeds, but powerful medicinal plants, that maple syrup is extracted from a tree, and hamburgers come from an animal, how can we expect to feel the need to protect our planet? So the first question to ask yourself is, why is it important to you to teach outside? I encourage you to record your thoughts in a notebook throughout the process. Your intentions will change over time, and that's amazing. Proudly welcome each small success and feel free to share them to infect your colleagues. Natural Maker Learning Continuum. The Natural Maker Learning Continuum was developed by the team of educators at Brilliant Labs with the goal of giving a broader meaning to learning in nature. What if encouraging simple explorations of natural environments on a regular basis would help to form young, committed eco-citizens, leaders, and eco-responsible entrepreneurs? So the Natural Making program is designed as a continuum where simple and fun exploration and making in, for, and with nature activities are the essential foundation for more complex commitments to eco-citizenship and socio-ecologically responsible entrepreneurship and leadership. It all starts with exploring a natural space. The time spent exploring a natural environment is directly related to the sense of belonging to that same environment. The more time spent in nature, the stronger the emotional connection and the more concrete the intrinsic environmental actions are. You can also make in nature. So in the Brilliant Lab, making pedagogy, children or students learn by touching, by creating, by making. Each natural environment is a world to be discovered and provides all the material needed. Making in nature implies a good knowledge of the natural environment in order to learn with the greatest respect for the biodiversity present. The no trace principle is to be prioritized, although it is necessary to accept that children manipulate in order to learn. You can make with nature. So material that is accessible in nature can be stored in buckets and used for making at any time of the year. Fall is a good time to walk in nature and fill buckets with dead branches, shelves, leaves, conifer cones, rocks. In a vision of conservation, one should never take everything. These elements are also habitats for many living species. So by that time, all the time spent outdoors would have provide an emotional connection to the earth that is essential to develop a deep appreciation and the empathy needed to inspire ecological and social actions. So maybe your student will want to make for nature. When a sense of belonging to the natural environment is created, students become more sensitive to the reality of local biodiversity, and their making projects can be aimed at protecting and enhancing nearby natural areas. Local environmental experts are a good resource to ensure the viability of making projects for nature. By then, you might look at engaged ecocitizen. Students' natural curiosity and outdoor experiences allow them to see the world through a responsible ecocitizen lens. They feel that they belong to this environment and have the power to take concrete actions to improve and value it on a family, local, and even on a national or international scale. They might become eco-entrepreneur and leader. So with the support of the community and organizations like Brilliant Labs, students have access to cutting-edge technology and the opportunity to develop the skills to prototype solutions and social concepts that can positively impact the world. At any point in the process of land-conscious learning, moments of gratitude are important. Recognitions of the use of unceded lands by indigenous peoples is an important step in the process of reconciliation, and it's our responsibility. What is a natural maker?
For the past 2 years, Brilliant Labs has popularized the term natural maker to define students or people who learn by and for nature. But who is a natural maker?
The natural maker is the person who does not need to buy. He creates, makes, repairs. He is an informed and responsible consumer who constantly evaluates the environmental impact of his actions. It does not get carried away by an ecological fashion. By that, I mean all the consumer products that are apparently a necessity to get closer to a greener lifestyle. The term for all these essential but not so useful products is greenwashing. The natural maker is not fooled by greenwashing and what is tried to sell him. The natural maker likes to explore, learn, and discover new elements of the nature that surrounds him because he understands that he is an integral part of this world. Natural makers don't need to carry much in nature. They use the natural elements at their disposal with so much respect. The natural maker is a resilient, critical thinker who finds a solution to every problem. Far from the conveniences of our well-organized classrooms, we often have to find unusual solutions to simple problems. I forgot my scissors, no big deal, I'll use a cutting rock. No glue? We can use mud or sap. The natural maker is not afraid that the planet will collapse. Through his own actions and the influence he has on those around him, he is naturally an advocate for environment. It's in him, in her, because it comes from the heart and not from a sense of urgency and fear.
Let's face it, our society needs more natural makers. Let's not make the mistake to replicate our indoor comfort outside. We risk losing important learning opportunities offered by the natural environment.
Find a natural space.
Let's get something straight. If your school has a door, you have access to a natural space. I challenge you, does your building have a door? Well, step outside and explore the possibilities.
Within walking distance, there's sure to be a trail, a field, a beach, a city park, or a large oak tree around the corner. You don't have to be an expert or to be that enthusiastic. Just get out for a few minutes for a snack, read a book, take a short walk, or play a game. Adding nature outings to the schedule is an important step in this pedagogy. If it's not on the schedule or not a priority, it gets pushed aside quickly. What I suggest is that you create a map of potential spaces within walking distance of the school. With the students, look at the location of the school on a map, Google Map or others. Identify potential natural spaces, city parks, forests, fields, a little stream. Find out who owns it. Municipalities are becoming more and more open to use of space. Children quickly become aware of space and the concept of no trace. Although I could make another parenthesis with this concept because no trace with young children is impossible. Children touch and manipulate to learn. There are some insects that will leave their life in the process, for sure, and that's normal. But as the outings go by, respect for space and living beings is learned. You can look within a 1 to 2 kilometer radius, depending on the age of your students. Walking to your natural space is part of the learning process. To adopt trees on the walk, observe the changes through the seasons, protect and clean up on your way, learn about our community, traffic laws, safety. When children become expert on their natural spaces, their community, they develop that sense of belonging, that emotional connection that will follow them into all their future endeavors. There are always opportunities within walking distance of a school in urban or rural areas. We just have to find them. What are your potential spaces, your possibilities? Make a plan and take time to walk the space before you bring the students in. If you are comfortable in the space, the students will embrace it as well. Increasing the ratio of adults to children is ideal for community outings. Although human resources may be limited within the school, many community members, parents, and grandparents are just waiting for a call and will be happy to accompany you. In addition, these individuals who give generously of their time will surely be delighted to share their knowledge and skills with a group of students. In order to clearly state your pedagogical intentions to the wider school community, I suggest that you write to all parents at the beginning of the year. First, to receive a consent form for community outings for the school year. Second, to build a list of volunteers by noting the expertise and availability of each one. Once again, land conscious education reminds us that it takes a village to raise a child.
Wetlands are gold mines of learning possibilities. Sometimes all you need is a muddy puddle on the sidewalk to spend your afternoon. It could be that simple.
Organize and enhance a natural space.
Let's start with the premise that every action we take have a repercussion on the environment. Every single one.
From installing bird feeders and forgetting to clean them, which increases the risk of spreading disease, to using plastic glitter to embellish our natural creations,
to our outdoor classrooms project, which are beautiful, but it often involves cutting large mature trees to recreate our indoor comfort outdoors. It could mean pouring concrete, having big machinery on a virgin land. Plus, it limits discoveries to one space created by human. So I'll come back to my first question. Why is it important to you to teach outdoors? I do have a solution. It may seem really simple, but check it out, just in case it talks to you.
buckets as a mobile outdoor classroom. Bakeries, restaurants, and other businesses receive food products in these buckets, which are then sent for recycling, so you can get them for free and locally. There are different models for different purposes. The big commercial ones to store more material and the smaller ones to make it easier to carry for little ones. Cat litter buckets are great for little hands, by the way. Buckets are waterproof, easy to store, serve to carry supplies, lunches, water, and natural treasures. They are also perfect benches, tables, and even erasable whiteboards. You can get as many buckets as you have students for free, and ta-da! You have a portable, eco-friendly, and versatile outdoor classroom. As for your schoolyard, I suggest planting fruit trees, vegetable gardens, greenhouses in collaboration with the community because someone has to take care of it in the summer. But keep in mind that your green schoolyard is only one natural space to exploit. There are so many others to discover. The concept of time. The reality is that learning in nature takes time. Time for the bud to turn into a leaf, time for the snow to melt, time for a seed to become a fruit and the fruit to become compost. Walking to a site takes time. Exploring, discovering, marveling, it all takes time. Observing, experimenting, making to understand, it takes time. Nature-based pedagogies recognize that an emotional connection is essential for learning to occur. While our society still places an emphasis on what needs to be taught, nature-based pedagogies prioritize authentic and sustainable learning. What if we defined our common vision of education? When a concept is taught, has the student learned? Through the assessment process, is the student learning? When the student explores, questions, and finds answers to their questions, has the student learned? When students manipulate, create, and find solutions to their problems, are they learning?
The fact is that learning takes time, and each child will learn differently. So why do we insist in teaching concepts and assessing every children at the same time?
The concept of backward planning is to take this weight off our shoulders as educators. It is to accept that each child will develop differently. We know that. It is to let the child of any age explore and plan afterwards according to his interests, observations, discoveries in relation to our curriculum. Why not? Authentic proof of learning.
So what tools do I have to track my students' individual progress without losing my mind? Well, first, the exploration journal.
Why use an exploration journal? First, because nature has a ton of educational surprises in store for us. It is possible to go outside with a planned activity and come back inside with a completely different discovery, and that's okay. An exploration journal allows us to document our discoveries and gives a meaning and purpose to outdoor explorations and the desire to go further in our research at all ages. Love of nature, of the environment, is an essential need, and it comes with time. The more time you spend outside, the more you know, the more comfortable you become, and the more you want to learn. I often say, we protect what we love, and we love what we know. And I also say, a child learns, period. When the learning environment is as large as nature has to offer, the learning possibilities are endless. So why go outside? Knowing better to better protect. In addition, nature is a free and extremely safe resource for looking after our mental health and children's well-being. What to use as an exploration journal? Any old notebooks you have at home would do the trick. You can also make your own journal using your creativity. What I love with my 5-year-old daughter is to reuse an old ring binder and decorate it with her On this one, she made drawings on the two covers. I also write her schedule for the day on the cover with an erasable marker because a schedule can be flexible. Inside, we added sheets and pockets, what we had at home, for nature's treasures. When we go out, she places a sheet on a wooden tablet to allow her to write or draw in the inspiration of the moment. Like that, the notebook stays cleaner. Another advantage at this age is that when she makes a mistake, she can simply start over on a new sheet rather than tearing off sheets from her notebook. If you go out with your notebook, that's okay. You can put it in a plastic bag to carry it, and a few little stains on a notebook can give it a style. More ambitious, why not consider making your own paper? Does your child prefer digital? Go out with a tablet, take photos, record sounds, and produce portfolios using Google Slides or a little story creator if you use an iPad. How do I use an exploration journal? Brilliant Labs offer you new authentic outdoor activities every week. This is not a procedure to follow activity 1 before activity 2. These are just great ideas to inspire you. Feel free to take what speaks to you, modify it, adapt it to your needs and interests. An exploration journal is like a nature diary. You can write, paste, draw, everything you want to keep as a souvenir or of your explorations in nature. You add everything you want to learn. It is often reassuring to be inspired by a planned activity. For example, following the activity Adopt a Tree offered by Brilliant Labs, my 5-year-old daughter began to question the different types of trees on the trail nearby. So we picked up samples from the ground and put together a mini lexicon of trees in the neighborhood. Our lexicon is in French and English, and we want to add the Wolastoqey language and Spanish along the way, by interest. A few days later, the Maker Fun activity offered a nature treasure hunt. My daughter decided to create her own treasure hunt for her grandmother using the words from her lexicon. Another great outdoor activity. What are your children, your students' interests? To find out, offer them a Maker Fun activity in nature and ask them to write down their observation, discoveries in a journal. What a great proof of learning.
An exploration journal grows with the rhythm of outdoor outings. The first step is to create one, plan your first outdoor activity, and the rest will come naturally.
Secondly, the use of the electronic portfolio to compile all the diverse learning of students throughout the school day. Witness a learning event? Click! Take a picture with a short description of the expectation reached and hop straight from the phone to the electronic portfolio. The entire learning community of the student is immediately aware, parents, principal, other teachers involved. The portfolio can be used in the same way by parents to inform the teacher of a new skill acquired at home. For 10 years, Maple Ridge Environmental School has used an electronic portfolio system to compile student learning in one place. Students from grades kindergarten to grade 9 are constantly on the move during the school day, and all teachers and educational staff are responsible for adding these information to the student's portfolio. The multi-level groupings of this public school entirely in nature give meaning to the phrase, "It takes a village to raise a child." Maple Ridge students are everyone's responsibility.